Hey guys, welcome back to Click. This is Im, and today we're back with the impressions of the Sony Xperia XZ Premium. So, for those of you who've been watching, you can see that I've just recently unboxed the XZ Premium, and I mentioned that I was going to throw my SIM in, run through the setup, and have a quick peruse around the OS, test out the camera, check the screen out and whatnot, and just have a general overview and come back to you guys and give you my impressions. So this is where we're at. So I'm going to start off with the build. I'm going to mention a little bit about the startup and whatnot, and then just get into a little bit of the software. Now I haven't set everything up. I haven't installed all my apps and put on my data, but I have enough of an idea to get started at least. Okay. So let's start with the build. So the build here, guys, is absolutely phenomenal. I think the build here is by far one of the best built phones that I have to date. I think it looks absolutely amazing. I know people are complaining that it's old school design and whatnot, and that it's not anything revolutionary. But you know what? This is the best version of the good old slabbed phone on the market. Now, by that I mean, it's a straight up rectangle, nothing exciting there. It's not overly thin, nothing exciting there. But you know what? The in-hand feel here feels really good in the hands. It's curved bezels around the edges here, or the curved frame. Feels awesome. Okay? And I know some people were saying that the edges were sharp, but I mean, I don't know if my hands are just bigger. Don't have that problem. The buttons fall right in the hand. The fingerprint scanner works great, as you can see there. The volume rocker works awesome. On this side here, there's nothing. There was a bit of a headache trying to get the SIM card in, because you pop this off. The actual tray that pulls out is your SD card or second SIM. The initial SIM is on this side, and you got a little tool. You have to get a little tool in there to pop it out. So it's a bit of a more work than it was worth, I guess you could say. So other than that, it's been nothing but flawless. There was a software update right out of the box. I updated some of the apps and set up my my information. So this is the home screen that I have so far. I mean, again, I haven't set anything up here, and just a touch of the fingerprint scanner and you're in. Super smooth. It hasn't failed on me yet. You do have to press, like on a black screen, you can't get in just by touching it. Now that might be in the settings. I haven't been through the settings yet, but for now you have to get it to turn on, and just hold your finger there for a second and you're in. Okay. And you can see here things are loading super quick, super nice. You've got the Play Store, everything. Now I don't have my I'm on airplane mode here I don't want notifications, so as a result you're not seeing that, but the loading and closing of apps is flawless, absolutely fantastic. Now this is the camera, so I'm going to take a quick picture of this studio that we have here, and let's see what happens. We're in regular auto mode. I took the same shot with the U11 just the other day, so let's see. Now I know we are looking through another camera lens. Sorry, there we go. Okay, but that is the shot. Now, to me, that looks pretty damn good. We can try and zoom in here and just see what's happening. Okay, there's blur in the U11, which is fine. Otherwise, we're looking pretty clear, pretty fluid, pretty clean on this side. Okay, so picture, so far so good. I mean, that was pretty good up front. The front-facing camera is also really nice. I don't want to take a picture of my ugly mug at the moment, but the launcher looks a bit funny. I like the icons in the bottom, which are nice and small, and then I got these big icons on the main screen. So I'm going to try and use the stock launcher for a little bit and see what happens, how it pans out. But if I don't like it, off to Nova we go. But I like to try and use the stock ones just to get an idea and get the feel of the actual UI that Sony intended or HTC intended and whatnot. So that's why I kind of want to stick with this for a bit for now. Okay, so the screen looks absolutely awesome. Now content, I haven't got anything with with a 4K installed yet. So in my review, I'll put something on and we can go through that. But initial impressions of the screen, the viewing angles are really nice. The screen looks absolutely stunning. It actually looks more like an AMOLED display than it does an LCD. So no complaints on that, but Sony does make a pretty good screen, so no surprise. Now let's just do a quick comparison here to the U11. Now overall dimensions, let's just set them down here. So you can see here the U11 is just ever so slightly shorter. The width, they're identical in width. Okay, so just a little bit shorter, and the thickness, I would say they're almost the same. I mean, the U11 seems to be curved at the edges. So, you know, the U11 feels a little bit easier because of the rounded corners to hold per se. But the Sony by far is not that much of a difference. Like, I mean, if you were to pick one of these, really, you wouldn't notice a difference in size here. Now, I know this is as reflective of a phone as the HTC here, but I have noticed that through using the two different colors of glass and whatnot, that the HTC shows fingerprints a little bit more. I think it's because of the chrome color. Maybe the black would have been a bit better option if you are a fingerprint, OCD kind of person. The black color here looks phenomenal. If you can get your hands on the black, go for it. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is I know people have been talking a lot about, for both of these phones, that the bezel, okay, the bezel is too big and the bezel is this and that. Now, we're talking about the Sony, so we'll stick with the Sony, but the same thing applies here to the HTC. But you have to remember, guys, okay, like if I can, let me just try and show you here. Actually, that might be a good idea. Okay, let's get in here. So you can see the edges of the screen here on the bezels on the side. Now, their bezels are very small, but what's making these look a little bit bigger is the fact that there's a rounded edge here, okay? So the rounded edge makes the bezel look super thick, but that's not part of the bezel. The bezel is super tiny, and the HTC has the same problem here, okay? I don't have it on, but it's got a huge curved glass display, and the bezel and the screen stops here, and then it looks as if though the bezel is humongous, and that's not the case. Okay, it's part of the design for the phone to and help for ergonomics on the phone for the handheld in-hand feel. Sorry, but it definitely is not a big bezel. Okay, so now in terms of battery life and whatnot, I don't have much to tell you yet. It had like 59%. There was a software update. We are up to, if it will focus, there, 50%. So through the software, you've got your normal, usual Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the dual SIM options because this is a dual SIM phone. Themes seems to be a bit wonky. Like I don't see anything that's overly changing other than the wallpaper. I have to look into this a little bit, but I tried to change one. All it did was change the wallpaper for me. So I don't know, seemed a bit cheesy. Wallpaper, you've got live wallpaper and albums. You've got your display, notifications, sound, apps, storage. So out of the box here, on the dual SIM version, storage. So 15 gigs has been used. There's been a few updates that I have run. I haven't installed any apps to date, so which isn't bad. It's a 64 gig phone, plus you can add plenty of micro SD storage if you need to. The battery itself here, there's stamina mode, ultra stamina mode, increased battery care, lifespan by controlling the charging speed, which is interesting. I'll have to look into that. How to use stamina mode, consuming apps, show battery usage. Okay, so screen 56%. There you go, guys. Come on, zoom for me. Well, it's not working for me, but it says 29 minutes, 58 seconds. So not a whole lot of screen on time at the moment, but we'll get into that. But Sony has a whole bunch of battery saving, battery stamina options that you can take advantage of to get your battery to last. I'm not a huge fan of the Sony buttons here. I'd rather wish that they'd gone with the Pixel ones. But that's it, guys. Other than that, we'll get the rest in on the final review. If you have any questions and comments regarding the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, I think the phone is fantastic. The camera seems to be pretty on point. I will play with that super slow-mo mode and see what we get out of that. Test out the battery, test out the screen, run it through its paces, and obviously set it up how I want to set it up and get it running nice and clean. So other than that, initial impressions are super positive. I definitely think this is a go. I think it's a great phone. For my first Sony phone in, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I think Sony has come quite a ways with the build and hopefully with the software. Fingers crossed on that. But I'll definitely have more for you guys in the review. Alright guys, so this has been Im, and it's been another impressions video, but the Sony is a go. Sony is definitely a go. So if you can get your hands on one, go for it. Alright, this is Im. I'm out. Peace.